Radio K on Instagram, Facebook, and stream us live. Remember, that is where we are at www.iconradio.co.ke. So see you shortly.
I saw you bad.
When me a bend over, me a wine and cut. Inna the air, me a wine and cut. And that girl can't test how me wine and cut. So you love it, tell me wine and cut.
Shake a premium up when you wine and cut. Position like a W, wine and cut. Wine up your good body, girl, punch on the block. You got the gift. So come wine and cut. Hey, girl, where you come from, wine for me. Your shoes are money like a pepper, still wine for me. Like a tennis ball, me when you fling it, give me. Girl, the style, the bad, me baby, big it. When you wine and catch me, baby, me want brother. It's a new style, I go give you your daughter. Come me mix you up like me mix smarter. Baby, me a your mix master.
When me a bend over, me a wine and cut. Inna the air, me a wine and cut. And that girl can't test how me wine and cut. So you love it, tell me wine and cut.
Shake a premium up when you wine and cut. Position like a W, wine and cut. Wine up your good body, girl, punch on the block. You got the gift. So come wine and cut. Hey, you wine already and you want wine again. Wine and cut style inna the top 10. If I can't wine and cut, sorry for them. I better say me wine out your waistline, my friend.
The way you love me good, boy, me left me man already. And you give me good loving, so me ready to go steady. Put that ring on it and give me a baby. Anybody ask is shy. When you bend over, me a wine and cut. Inna the air, me a wine and cut. And that girl can't test how me wine and cut. So you love it, tell me wine and cut.
Me like to brace pan it, brace pan it. I'm like to bucket so. Me like to brace pan it, I'm like to bucket so. I'm like to bucket too. Me like to brace pan it, I'm like to bucket so, bucket so, bucket so, bucket so.
I saw you bad.
When me a bend over, me a wine and cut. Inna the air, me a wine and cut. And that girl can't test how me wine and cut. So you love it, tell me wine and cut.
Shake a premium up when you wine and cut. Position like a W, wine and cut. Wine up your good body, girl, punch on the block. You got the gift. So come wine and cut. Hey, girl, where you come from, wine for me. Your shoes are money like a pepper, still wine for me. Like a tennis ball, me when you fling it, give me. Girl, the style, the bad, me baby, big it. When you wine and catch me, baby, me want brother. It's a new style, I go give you your daughter. Come me mix you up like me mix smarter. Baby, me a your mix master.
When me a bend over, me a wine and cut. Inna the air, me a wine and cut. And that girl can't test how me wine and cut. So you love it, tell me wine and cut.
Shake a premium up when you wine and cut. Position like a W, wine and cut. Wine up your good body, girl, punch on the block. You got the gift. So come wine and cut. Hey, you wine already and you want wine again. Wine and cut style inna the top 10. If I can't wine and cut, sorry for them. I better say me wine out your waistline, my friend.
The way you love me good, boy, me left me man already. And you give me good loving, so me ready to go steady. Put that ring on it and give me a baby. Anybody ask is shy. When you bend over, me a wine and cut. Inna the air, me a wine and cut. And that girl can't test how me wine and cut. So you love it, tell me wine and cut.
It's a magic number. Yes, it is. It's a magic number. Because 2 times 3 is 6. And 3 times 6 is
18.
And the 18th letter in the alphabet is
R.
Yeah. We got 3 R's we're gonna talk about today. We gotta learn to reduce, reuse, recycle. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Well, if you're going to the market to buy some juice, you gotta bring your own bags and you learn to reduce your waste. We gotta learn to reduce. And if your brother or your sister's got some cool clothes, you could try them on before you buy some more of those. Reuse. We gotta learn to reuse. And if the first 2 R's don't work out, and if you gotta make some trash, well, don't throw it out. Recycle. We gotta learn to recycle. We We gotta learn to reduce, reuse, recycle. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Because 3, it's a magic number. Yes, it is. It's a magic number. Six, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36, 33, 30, 27, 24, 21, 18, 15, 12, 9, 6, and it's a magic number.
That is the 3 R's by Jack Johnson, playing right here on Icon Radio, your number 1 entertainment show. And we are super, super glad that you could join us on this wonderful Wednesday that, we are talking everything about sustainability. And I'm super, super glad that you could join us. And like I said earlier, our guest today is going to be demystifying for us a lot of issues that sometimes we don't really know what is happening on the ground. And sometimes the communities are, they need to be engaged. And today's guest is Richard, and he's going to be introducing himself. So karibia Mike kidogo. Uko sawa?
Yes.
All right. So kindly introduce yourself. Tell us who you are and who is Afro Green. And where you got that name from? By then in a pop, like my hair.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. My name is Richard Kakunga Wambua, and some people mtani, they normally call me Balozi Green. Because number 1, green, because I work on environmental matters. The aspect of Balozi, because my field and background, I am a diplomat by profession. So when Afro Green came up actually, and how it came up, it was because of the passion that I've always had on matters of environmental and taking up climate action. So within the diplomatic space, I have always been advocating for the inclusion of youth when it comes to multilateral processes during policy making. So slowly I started realizing as well, despite the activities that personally I used to do for environmental back in the ground at home, in the rooms where now the policies are being discussed, a good number of young people or none at all were missing or were mostly always invited as observers. So I decided also now to merge my passion on environmental now to my profession of diplomacy. So I embarked on climate diplomacy while still you're working on the ground. And now the name Afro Green. Afro, first of all, is because I am a Pan-African. So
you're one of those people who are like, yeah, one for Africa.
Definitely. And noting the fact that Africa is a continent that actually feels the most effects of climate change, yet our emissions are the lowest.
Yeah.
And not just Africa, but also African people in the diaspora and even Afro descendants, because you find those who went through the transatlantic slave trade, who a good number of Latin America, for instance, you find they're actually black people compared to what the media shows us, but they are most disparaged by the effects of climate change, because even the response after tsunamis, you see, even in the US, black neighborhoods, the response is low. They're most hard hit and the response is lowest. So the reason as to why Afro Green came up, it was actually a call now to all the Africans and Afro descendants to collaborate together on how we can continue taking up climate action.
Oh, wow. That is, you went all the way. You were like, you incorporated not just Kenya, East Africa, Africa, you went all the way to diaspora. Very impressive.
Definitely.
And so that means that Afro Green is a movement. And the movement is you being the leader. How do you do your, I mean, how do you handle your agenda? Just break down to us how you, as Afro Green, work on your agenda.
Okay. Because I know we'll get to the day-to-day activities that
Yeah.
we carry out at AfroGreen.
Yeah.
Maybe to give you the philosophy behind it or the concepts that we see now. AfroGreen, we view ourselves more as a family and also an umbrella in that other organizations can even come and be part of AfroGreen and our umbrella. So you find we do have different groups of youth and different youth organizations who are under the AfroGreen umbrella and also carry out activities in collaboration with us in the name of AfroGreen umbrella.
Oh, wow.
So whenever you go, let's say in Europe or Eastern Europe, you'll find there's a good representation. Even as you're talking today, in one of the countries in Eastern Europe, we have youth activity going on. And also, if you look at now in Latin America, countries such as Panama and Colombia, now we partner and collaborate because after all, it's all about partnering for goals.
Yeah,
Eh?
yeah.
So that's how we coordinate in terms of our activities. So looking at our calendar, and you see based on the different key events going on in your different countries, because
Yeah.
now the whole team communicates now under this one mail room. So we can be able to see how can we support each other, how can we complement each other, whether online, those who are on location, yeah, and so on.
Oh, wow, wow. So it's an umbrella. Within the country, how many people or how many groups are you working with so far in the country who
So
are under your umbrella?
yes, within the country we have a group of about 45 youth groups.
Oh, wow.
And it is
Cut
because
across all counties?
yes, across the different countries and regions in Kenya. Actually, we were looking first of all at the provincial, the primal provincial division.
Yeah.
Before we branch out to the 47 counties reach,
Yeah,
and we were seeking out also, and now two categories of youth. Those who have been engaged in the policy level, because now with devolution and devolving climate policies is very key.
Oh, wow.
And the second category as well, those who are doing impeccable climate action in the ground. And most of
are
the
they as
time,
many?
there are actually very many, but their efforts are normally not concerted or is not recognized, and they are doing so much that even they do not get the attention of the media. They even do not know what they are doing is very key to the
Yeah.
whole world. So
Yeah.
now those are the people we also reach out to just encourage them as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is amazing because that has been an issue. Like last week we had a guests who were a group of young people, and they're like, "Watu hawajui what we are doing."
Yeah.
People really don't know what it is that we feel like we are creating impact, but people don't really know what we are doing. So how different is Afro Green bringing in this aspect of collaboration with youth groups and other organizations? How different, so that people can at least now get to know or to raise that awareness of what it is that Afro Green is doing with this collaborations.
All right. One thing, first of all, as I said, I am a Pan-African.
Yeah.
And most Pan-Africans are
I mean,
normally
you got that from the
realists.
Afrobeat.
Yes. And most Pan-African people are realists.
Yeah.
So I will start from a very realistic part in that, unfortunately, slowly by slowly, as a country and as a youth group, we find we do not have also the culture to seek out and know, to seek out and support each other,
Yeah.
or even to acknowledge
Yeah.
our people in the community. Because if you have been on the ground, you've seen many a times when youth, maybe let's say if you go to Madare and the people see them picking up the trash, to go and recycle,
Yeah.
you'll hear
Wale
hao
ni
ni wale
wakora.
vijana basi ama ni wakora or something like that.
yeah.
But what they're doing is quite really impeccable. So
Yeah.
what we always do now as Afro Green is to first of all now start talking with them, these youth, to recognize that you yourself as an individual, you actually are a constituent.
Yeah.
You have like 5 family members
Yeah.
who you can tell about this,
Yeah.
who can disseminate to 5 more of their constituents. You have
Yeah.
friends and
Yeah.
so on. So it's more like a snowballing effect at the community level.
Yeah.
And the reason why I also now talked about the policy focus, now we normally take also the collective voices, and now we take it to the rooms where these voices will normally not have been heard, but now can be able to be heard. So even when we embark on this community approach, even going to schools, that huyo mtoto tumwambia ukienda home ambia mama na baba that tusikae tumewasha stima and all, just
Yeah.
those subtle things.
Yeah.
And by that kid, the fact that the dad will come home and then the kid tells them, hey dad, tuliambiwa shule tusikae tumewasha stima zote.
Yeah.
That man will never stay kama amewasha hizo stima zote. So it's so minute.
Yeah.
But the
effect. Yeah.
it's snowballed.
Yeah, I remember when we were growing up, we always assumed our parents loved making noise when they kwambia zima hiyo stima, you know. You know, well, it was subtle, but for them, they were looking at the bill part. They were not looking at the environment and saving energy and all that.
Yeah.
But like you said, it is all, now that is something that we need to really have the conversation rolling. Like the way students learn things in school, climate change needs to be incorporated into the syllabus so that people can start.
Absolutely.
You know, if it is tree planting nurseries, you can start from a young age. And I believe that you guys are doing the greater good for the society, especially like you said, it starts from the community. And I know the youth right now are always asking, hakuna kazi, ni nini tunaweza fanya, but there's so much that can be done. But let's talk about policy advocacy and what role Afro Green takes in and what specific policies are you looking at to, you know, I mean, stakeholders need to understand what is on the ground. Hawajuangi ni nini na happen kwa ground. So by the time they're going there to discuss policies and they're discussing issues, you're like, you in affect nani huku? You know, alafu should the policies be like, you know, per county level, like different counties experience different weather patterns.
That is
so in terms of policy, what role does Afro Green play?
Okay. I will give you quite a very top-down approach. Because policy sometimes is top-down, and then now I'll give you a bottom-up on how we engage. And where we meet.
Serikali kabisa. Bottom up,
Definitely. So, as Afro Green, we had the pleasure to take part in the consultative process at the initial stages when the European Commission was developing the new Green Deal policies, when they were developing the Youth Action Plan for their diplomatic relations to Africa. And again, we had the opportunity also when they were developing the specific policies for Kenya. The same way now, this EU Green Deal went ahead and established something called FLOCA. Financed by World Bank. Currently, even under Treasury programs are running.
Yeah.
FLOCA is the abbreviation for Financing Locally Led Climate Action. And these are funds that actually youth groups can be able to register and you get. As long as you're doing climate smart agriculture, you're engaging in a just transition to promote green jobs, so you can be able to apply for these jobs. So now that is what we did. First of all, top down our contribution, our minute contribution. Now,
well, it is not minute. People are getting money. Why are you underplaying your role there? You understood the assignment.
Yes. So now from the bottom up approach, I'll give a case where now we seek out to a youth group.
Yeah.
And if you look at just a typical group, which let's say they normally call for people to board matatus and all. They are normally organized in groups.
Yeah.
So we have them establish local CPO or a small group, even just within themselves. We teach them how to propagate tree seedlings.
Oh, wow.
And even how to teach them a bit of financial and monetary tabling, so that even they can be able to tap into some of these funds. The ones who are across now the different counties, who now work on policy, not now the community level, the ones who are key in policy, the budget champions. Now, these are the youth we harmonize together to champion for the county climate funds. So every county goes through a budgetary development process where now the public is supposed to take part. But majority of us, we never know.
Yeah, but there are things you're saying and I'm like, county government yetu iko na hii kitu kweli. Yeah.
Unasikianga tu sasa, for example, ati imefanyika shule fulani primary school and all. But and Makueni County was the first one about 10 years ago to allocate 1.5% of its total county budget for county climate funds. Right now, it's actually a must for you to designate between 2 to 3% of your total county budget to county climate funds. So whether it's supplementing climate smart agriculture, whether it's tapping into green jobs. So now that is what you also sensitize people. How can you now go about applying this to the counties? Because every county has a CEC.
Very good question. Please enlighten us and give us an answer to that question. How do they apply? Because I think there people know, but majority of the young people don't know. I don't know if it's lack of interest or it's a Gen Z kind of, but it is not a Gen Z kind of thing, because even the millennials, the people who are struggling to find work, and they need to know how to, start creating their own jobs, and green jobs is such a big thing. So how, just respond to that question that you asked yourself.
Okay, so first of all, to answer you why people don't do that. Initially, I noted that we have lost, or we no longer have the culture of supporting each other, and the same way we no longer have the culture of seeking out knowledge. How many people do you know right now can take time to read a newspaper? Yes. How many people do you know right now can take time to read through an online article that is more than a 2-minute read?
Yeah.
Even watching a video that is 5 minutes long
is crazy.
Yes.
But it's crazy. Like our concentration span is so short.
So short.
Like you want things like question, answer, you done, you out.
And those are the avenues where sometimes you find these opportunities are advertised. Always in the newspaper, you always find, even when counties are having those Jamii outreach programs, where now as women groups, you can reach out to get some agricultural produce, certified seedlings and so on. But we normally cannot be able to find out about that, because also as per different counties, some of the leaders who are also there, they do not mean well. Your county administrator will not tell you about this project, will not disseminate about this project. What they do instead, they seek out to the kidogo people they know. Like Wanjira, I know you, nakwambia, kuja tafuta mtu mwingine kwanza, tafuta ID kama 5 so that you collect all this thing. And that's why I said I'm a realist. Yeah. So that is the
even the vitu ziko kwa ground. That is how things are operating as we speak. But I really love that you're steering that conversation to challenge young people to take action, because no one is going to come and save you. Like you have to do the work. So, and I know we're going to be talking about the green jobs in a short while, but I know that as Afro Green, how do you focus on, in besides the policy aspect of it, and when you come to grassroots mobilization, I know you have the umbrella bit of it, but is it something that you go personally seeking, or do you allow people to access you guys and just come and be part of the conversation?
We actually allow people. Anyone who seeks out to us, we are able to work with you. And still within communities, we reach out to people. As I noted, our aim is to communicate climate action in the language that people understand. So if we identify also a target area or a target sub-county, ETC, or even a village, we will first of all look which organization is already working here. So, and at times this has ended up churning very successful collaboration projects, which are doing well even right now if you visit them. Other instances you find, right now as a country we're also not doing well economically. So you see, when you the patience of people can go only so far.
Yeah.
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 So even when you tell them, let's propagate this, you wait and you can be able to sell. And most of the time we even off take.
Yeah.
Because we find the market. We find the market for the tree seedlings they propagate.
Yeah.
But many groups, sometimes you find they'll start 30 people, later on only 15 or 10.
What uchoka?
What we choke.
As in
Yes.
tunachoka hii mti ati inatake how many months hata inataka kugerminate 3 months. Okay. And then nitakuwa nakula nini hizo 3 months?
Yes.
Is
But
the question.
still, actually, we still continue working with them. And that's why I was mentioning schools are very key.
Yeah.
And why we also focus with schools.
Yeah.
Because from primary, we also look at secondary, and now again to look at the universities, paying visits to them. Because this youth, they stem from the community. They stem from the rural side. And to give you actually interesting statistics, 75.1% of Kenya is youth. That is
Yeah.
a total of that 5.7 million, give or take.
Yeah.
32.5 million are rural. So less than 3 million of Kenya is urban. Yeah.
I mean, counties are devolved. I mean, I thought the numbers would be higher. Like, you know.
But still, if you consider in terms of devolution
Yeah.
of the services they receive over there, do they get the same services we are able to receive here at the CPT?
No.
They do not. Even at the CPT, we don't fully optimize the services that are available to us.
Yeah.
But majorly,
I think people feign I don't know.
yes.
Yeah.
And but majorly, actually, 80% of Kenya's population lives only under the bottom 20% of its population. So why now we seek out these cadres of students and all is so that also you get your mind outside coming to look for opportunities here, that you
Yeah.
can even find way more richness back in your home county. Take a case of a youth group. Let's take 1 or 2.
Yeah.
There are about 20 of them. They decide to propagate 30,000
And are these just
trees.
fruit trees or all sorts of trees?
We always go by a third. So
Okay.
a third fruit trees, a third exotic, a third indigenous.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So if they decide to propagate, even whichever species or type of trees,
Yeah.
let's take they propagate about 30,000 of them.
Yeah.
And of course, 30,000 can go into a very small room.
Yeah.
If they sell these tree seedlings,
Each at
let's say 10,000 even did not survive.
Yeah.
They had 20,000
Yeah.
surviving. They sell these tree seedlings at 100 shillings each, depending on the tree species.
Yeah.
How much will that be?
200 Gs.
It's actually 2 million.
Wait, that is
20,000.
Wait, unajua hesabu zilitupita. 20,000
Yes,
times 100. You're actually right. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
that is 2
I
million.
don't believe I just did that math the way we should be in primary school. What?
Yes, that is 2 million.
2 milli.
Yeah.
And how much does it take to, what capital? I think, is it capital intensive?
You normally say for one tree, for you to take care of it until it's able to survive on its own, that's normally a cost of about 100 shillings. But it's cheaper when you have them in a nursery.
Yeah.
Because all it's after about a month or so, all you need to do is watering twice.
Yeah.
So the cost goes into the potting bags. Where now you together as a group, now like I talked about the Matatu group,
Yeah.
what you collect daily here, you can be able to pull
Yeah.
to even now, and with the extra support now, we give them when we are able to. you-
What
to
is this
get
extra support? Extra support ni nini?
Goodwill donations. Goodwill donations. You can be able to buy potting bags na kila kitu.
Hakuna huwezi sema tu pesa. Tunataka mali tuna pesa. Anyway. Thank you so much. We're going to take a short break. And when we come back, we're going to be talking a lot more with Richard about, our role in climate action, and especially community mobilization, and what you are supposed to be doing. So thank you so much. Continue talking to us on our social media platforms. That is on Icon Radio KE on Instagram, on Facebook. You're streaming us live on www.iconradio.co.ke. And also remember to send us a short WhatsApp message. That is +254 788 380030. So see you after the break.
I wanna be rich, I wanna be famous, I wanna have lots and lots of money. Soar above the clouds, I wanna be free, like Nelson Mandela. Stand tall like a pyramid, so courageous. No place I'd rather be. Oh na na na, oh na na na. There's no place I'd rather be. Oh na na na. Live and die in Africa. I wanna live and die in Africa. Live and die in Africa. Hey, live and die in Africa. Hey, I wanna feel love. I wanna be remembered. I wanna go down in history. Make my mama proud, the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Nasitoke nyumbani, mwacha mila mtumwa. Ain't no place I'd rather go. Ooh, no place I'd rather go. I live and die in Africa. Yeah, I live and die in Africa. Ooh, yeah, I live and die in Africa. Yeah, I live and die in Africa. Cause I wanna live and die in Africa. I wanna live and die in Africa. Ooh, yeah. Hello, motherland, tell me how you doing. Oh, hello, motherland, tell me how you doing. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Hello, me, how you doing? Motherland, tell me how you doing. Hujambo, salam dunia, ni siku nyingi hatujaongea hizi enzi, mbona huna penzi?
Nimekuandikia barua, ningeweza ningekupigia, geti kali nalia, machozi ya simba. Usinidenge, si siku moja nitakulenga pia. Usinicheke, si siku moja nitakucheka pia. Bobea, 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 ngojea nitabobea pia. Bobea, 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 ngojea nitabobea.
All right, that is Elani with the song. Which song is that by the way, Bosco? Barua ya Dunia. Oh, thank you so much for joining us on Sustainability Connect. I'm your host, Wanjira, and this is Icon Radio, your number one entertainment plug. Thank you for all the questions that you're sending us on Instagram and also on Facebook, and especially on WhatsApp as well, which is +25478838030. Thank you so much for being part of the conversation. And like I said, we are here to educate you guys on how to navigate through the climate space. You know, it's one thing to discuss climate change, but it is another thing to take action. And you taking action means that you need to be part of a community, to get involved and to make decisions and to create your own space. So this is a conversation that we're having today with Richard from Afro Green, and he's been very insightful, telling us what role they're playing in community mobilization. And you, as a young person, you are allowed to, you know, you're given an opportunity by both the government and other stakeholders to come together, create groups, create CBOs, create NGOs, and come and seek support from all these organizations that are, you know, focusing on climate and focusing on, you know, ensuring that, you know, green jobs are available for young people. So usikae tu hapo nyumbani unasema ati hakuna kazi. There are so many things that we're going to be discussing today. And one thing that I'd want to ask Richard is, you know, what is the biggest challenge that Afro Green is facing right now? Because, you know, community mobilization is not easy. Policy advocacy is not easy. But let's first talk about policy advocacy and the challenges you face there. And then now we go into the challenges that you face through when you're doing your mobilization.
Okay. In terms of the policy side,
Be a microphone to the-
in terms of the policy side, the biggest challenge is always the buying.
Yeah.
It's always the buying. Because if you go back and look at what Afro Green started working on, some of the things we were talking about and trying to sensitize about or advocate for. I gave you an example. We took part also in the development of some green policies with the European Commission. So we were aware of some of the things which are coming on this side, which will trickle down in terms of, let's take the case of carbon credits and other initiatives, in terms of green jobs even. So, but when we were trying to seek out the relevant authorities, telling them how can we tap together and work with your offices to accelerate these green jobs, and also to make sure even it is when they come into the country, it is in an inclusive and just way. It's a just transition.
Yeah.
So that buy-in was always a challenge. So you find either the offices focus is not there, or the particular regime's focus or rather leadership in that office, that is not a priority area.
Yeah.
And where we also have a situation where when it comes to policy, citizens most of the time, which is an opportunity I believe we should always be taking part in, but we are always mostly coming into the public participation. It's quite very difficult to find where you're proposing something within an office, and it takes a very noble leader to even now take
Direct
up
you.
and direct you,
Yeah.
and even own that project.
Yeah.
And when they own it, the other challenge you experience when a new director or a new someone comes in that office,
Yeah. It starts, the cycle starts all
the
over
cycle
again.
starts all over again. Or
Yeah.
I say, you'll go project ya Wanjira. I need mine. Yes.
There is nothing that is as disheartening as that.
So that,
Yeah.
and the biggest challenge that I can also speak, which is in the heart of my fellow environmentalists,
Yeah.
youth environmentalists, participating in the policy processes is very expensive. Even the conferencing, for you to attend the conference,
Yeah.
to visit, to go to that conference, so you will get an invitation, and you are very capable but to give content, but you're not capable to finance yourself. So even when you reach out to the relevant delegations which have gone,
Yeah.
they might not be able to support you. Of course, the law might not allow, but
Yeah.
also there's a caveat where they might see what are you proposing and end up taking you in your arms. But you know very well the people who normally go sometimes
Yeah.
in such conferences. So, and even when the conferences are happening here within our country, you find where I can just take a matatu and come to town KICC,
Yeah.
the accreditation process, I was not cleared to get a badge.
Yeah.
You see? So, and that is even when I'm participating in that conference, I'm actually coming to give an intervention in policy,
Yeah.
you know, because policy doesn't have to be complex.
I know. And it's just it's a gateway. Like, it doesn't have to be that hard. Whatever
Yes.
you guys are deciding, let's just come together. And but I mean, that is I remember you know, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, we are hosting the AFCON in 2027. And
Yes.
I remember Nick Mwenda once said, the only thing that we need right now is political goodwill.
Precisely.
You know, like, I mean, this is FKF boss, and he's like, we just need political goodwill from all the three presidents. And that was a thing that they had been pushing for until the Pamoja bid happened.
Yes.
And is that the same case when it comes to now environment? Because you find that, you know, the people who are supposed to be making all these policies, there's no political goodwill behind it. Is that part of a challenge, or is that something that is slowly changing?
Well, both, more or less.
Yeah.
It is slowly changing, I can say that. And allow me to first of all actually thank His Excellency the President, because the current regime is very, very proactive in terms of climate action. He is aware of his content
Yeah.
in terms of the policies where we are supposed to go as a country. And we are also at an instance where, as per the Vision 2030 of the country, right now we are in the 5th generation of working on the strategic plans of different government institutions for 2024, 2025 to the year 2027, 2028, 2029.
Yeah.
And as per the medium-term plan review also, the third one of the National Treasury, either way, there should be finances for greening.
Do they know that?
Now that is where I'm headed to. As per the administration, the President's office is pushing so much for this.
Yeah.
Different now government agencies need now to tap into this and support also what the administration is working on. If you look at, I'm not here to talk politics, but if you look at also the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, BITA, regardless of who you voted for, that is the regime that is in right now. So as an environmentalist, have you looked into what is in there? It says about environment. Even now, the people in leadership in different counties, different offices, are they also aligned to the BITA agenda? Because once you are also aligned, even now not looking at BITA, going back to Treasury, the MTP4, the Vision 2030, where we are, you need to align everything else within your policies, even at the county, at the ministerial, departmental, or agency level, to align towards this.
Yeah.
And all it takes now is the goodwill of the person who is in charge. Is it the accounting officer, the CEO? Is it the PS, the CS who guides the policy as well? So now that is the key. So slowly by slowly, there is this buying and transitioning. And but still we have a lot of work to go to do, because also people are not aware, and we are also at an instance where we have a very big gap in terms of policy as well. Prior to the Africa Climate Summit, we amended our Climate Change Act. We also worked on carbon trading and exchange and sharing bill around the same period. So to enable for initiatives which involve carbon credit market trading, that we can be able to tap into, but still the guidelines are yet to come out. They're working on that, and it's a work in progress. So even we are in a position, even if we are aware, we might miss a lot of things also, but that is the normal way it goes when you are developing policies, because lazima you involve the public participation, you take the different feedback, and then now you also have organizations now to change again their strategy. Yes.
I think that is where the challenge is. When we're talking about public participation, it is not as vigorous as it ought to be. So if somebody wants to plug into the public participation bit, because that is the only place they feel like they have power. So because once it passes that stage, there's nothing else you can do. They'd be like,
that is true.
Richard and his team, they came and they said this, and then you're like, no, it doesn't affect me. So as in, how does one plug into the public participation? Is there a portal? Is there a cartel you need to align yourself with?
No.
Or do they display it in the newspapers? I mean, how does one plug into
I was going back to that.
Yeah.
In the newspapers, it's always there. But how many of us we read the newspapers?
I think we should not just be reading for these people newspapers every day.
There is even actually...
Especially on climate action,
Exactly.
Yeah.
There is even actually a segment within the law which says there should be a public, announcement on the radio, etc., and on print media 21 days before. Yes. And if there was no advert 21 days prior, you can go and have that nullified in court, because there was not enough time.
But now if they put it in the newspaper, na sisi tuko mtandaoni, si watu wake tu kwa Facebook tuone.
Pia kwa mtandao nimeona siku hizi wanajaribu. Siku hizi wanajaribu.
Ni wapi uko tunafaa tufuate juu sasa tunafaa tufuate.
Wacha niseme kama kwa mfano kama mwana mazingira, I follow everything about environment that happens. So niki log in every time, lazima every morning after every 2 hours I log into the Ministry of Environment's page. I also log into the CSS page, because she's also very active in posting on the PS for climate change, engineer ngeno. And you find they always post about this and say kuna hii hapo inakuja.
Even county governments actually.
Even county governments.
Because I've also seen our CEC in Kiambu. They're very proactive. They're always like, this is happening. So I think it's just, there is no feigning sikuona, sikujua.
Exactly.
Especially if in environment bit, climate,
Yeah.
All right. So, and when it comes to community mobilization, what is your challenge?
So, to the realist part.
You gotta be real.
Even if I am to go somewhere, the first issue I always think about is, do I have enough fare to go there? Ona. Ama nikienda lazima nijipange.
Umeenda tu Kenya style. Niko na fare.
Niko na fare? Alafu niko na do ya food. Hii do ya food. Nitaingia restaurant ama nitaenda Sanford, inatosha wapi? Ona, lazima ujipange. So na unaona vile pia vitu ni tough right now in the country.
Na unaenda peke yako ama unataka kwenda na mtu?
Bas. Yes. And everywhere economically vitu ni tough. So wakati unaita group ya youth, na maybe unawaita mbali sana, they need to travel for quite a distance. Labda by the way genuinely hawana fare. So I always appreciate kuna wale watasema transport ni shida, tusaidie. But you always now have another category who always ask, what is in it? Kuna nini? Kuna allowance? Kuna food? Na mara mingi of course ukiita watu mwashughulikia refreshment pia. Naona when you're mobilizing. Hata maji. Naona. But still hiyo ndio kitu watu tuna allow inaingia kwa mind, inani block kutofanya kitu. Sasa uniambie unaniita Kajiado. Wenyewe roho safi nikitoka Kiambu kwenda Kajiado ni mbali sana. But all it takes ni ile passion yenye niko nayo. But first and foremost, patriotism. Because if you are really patriotic and we know what you are doing is for posterity. Kile kizazi chenye kitaka. Then I think naweza jikaza pale mahali naweza. And then hata kama uwezi, kuna hiyo sasa as I've said wale wanajiongea. So pia hiyo ndio inakuanga shida ya kwanza ya mobilization. And then wakati umemobilize watu, hata kama uko umwambia kuna anything, sijui mostly karuma kanatokanga mahali unasikia watu wanauza nasikia kuna 500 kwa kupeana
akukosagi yako karuma. Let me tell you, and I think this is where we bash the political community. They're the ones who started that thing of lazima pakuwe na kakitu for every meeting lazima you attend, there has to be something. It is very important pakuwe na kakitu, but let it not be unexpected outcome of the event. Like guys would not even listen. They would be like, wacha nitenda kamkutango kakribi kuisha, so that I don't miss that 500 bob.
Exactly.
Which is,
na pia after ushawa mobilize, even if you educate them about the projects, tunafaa pia to move away from quick money mindset, because of course in life nothing comes easy. So hiyo ndo challenge nyingine kubwa wakati tunazungumza pia na youth, wakuwe na hiyo patience ya kupropagate and then baadaye tutatafutia market ama nini and all. Still unapata pole from a group ya 30 watabaki kaa 10, ama from a group ya mbao watabaki kaa 5. Ile time yenye umefika time ya kuuza wote
wanarudi
attendance yote. So
I've been in such groups, oh my god.
So at least tunafaa tuangalie pia naweza pata kitu pale mbele, si lazima nipate before. So hizo ndo zinakuanga ni challenge pia. Na pia kuwork na local leadership. Wengine ukienda kama ni mtaa yako politician anadhania sawa wewe after mwaka mmoja mbili unataka kuanza kuitisha kura. Anatuma labda watu karibu.
Wow. Yeah, because I remember last week the youth groups were like, there's been political goodwill if they see what it is that you're doing.
That is true.
If your MCA sees that you're working towards cleaning up the rivers or planting trees to sell to schools or to actually give to schools if you can to give, I mean they will be willing to support that, because pia hiyo inawaundia jina. Unajua people want to align themselves to where they success. So I mean if you start something and people see that something is very good, then they'll align themselves to that. So thank you so much for that, by the way. Hiyo kujituma pia is something that people need to start doing. Watu kuwacha tu kukatu hivyo wakingojanga ati ka job katatokea. Hakuna ka job kanatokea, when una create your job. I mean that has been the biggest conversation that you guys have been pushing.
Kabisa.
Watu kujituma.
Lazima ujitume bana.
Do you ever feel like you guys, I mean, like, do you ever feel like it's not enough?
Of course. Hiyo ni kitu, wajua the reason why una wake up kila siku. Ni vile pia unajua kuna kitu yenye si enough. Yenye umefanya pia yenye si enough. Hata kama ni job, unamkanga juu, haukufanya enough jana. Otherwise ungeretire sahi.
Zile za wewe lazima nifanye kitu kingine. But I think when you're talking about climate action and since the Africa Climate Summit, watu wamekuwa wakisema there's so much money in climate. It's just that, when you're talking about green jobs, watu hawajui the green jobs ni gani. So maybe you can demystify and tell us green jobs. Like give us examples of green jobs. Ndio at least wako wakisema, kwa hivyo smart agriculture ni green job. Like what are some of these examples of green jobs?
Okay. So hata kitu ndogo tu kama like grow sukuma wiki in an innovative way. Let's say una space, but unaona hizi vertical farms. Wewe mwenyewe utakuwa umejipatia yako ka job. Na mtu mwenye pia utakuwa na yeye. So even coming together. So now to give you an example, to go back to FLOCA, the financing locally led climate action. Actually wana finance watu kama vijana, women, youth wenye wako na some innovative ways kama ni kuproduce food kani nini, so hata vitu kama hydroponics, hata ukiwa na hiyo concept. And if you look at for instance Danida under Danish government, ndio pia wana finance there, and also they support institutions such as KCIC, the Kenya Climate Incubation Center, I believe. And where people wanaenda trainiwa na pia wana pitch, they incubated.
Like right now they're running a very good campaign. They're looking for guys, they have money.
Inaitwa vijana na agribase.
Kuna pesa, but watu hawajui, I mean they train you how to access that money.
Yes.
But people are, I mean, every day they're calling out for applications. I'm like, kwani watu hawa apply ama ni campaign period bado ijaisha?
Alafu pia kuna ile aspect, unajua by the way realistically green jobs they are not so clean. You need to get your hands dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whether you will shikana along your village, let's say hata kama unaishi mahali kaa pipeline.
Yeah.
Kuna vibanda ngapi za mboga ziko hapa? Ni kibao.
Yeah.
So mkiamua tu hii street mtakuwa mnaanzia hapa, mnashika hivi ile ingine, au mama wa mboga, hiyo tu waste yao. And you can turn that to briquette.
Yeah.
So huyo mama wa mboga si anauzanga githeri.
Yeah.
So ukimpelekea briquette, it's a cleaner way.
Yeah.
It's an organic alternative to charcoal.
Yeah.
It burns longer.
Yeah.
So kwa hiyo tu waste yake, unarudi unamuuzia tu hiyo briquette. Unaona?
Hiyo ndio mnaita circular economy.
Exactly. So and these are some of the things you unaweza fanya.
Yeah.
And then ukiangalia hii do yote yenye watu wanasema inakuja.
Yeah.
First of all, understand iko wapi. Iko kama within your area, inaingililia wapi.
Yeah.
Na sasa vile unaweza tap
Plug in,
into
yeah.
ama vile unaweza plug in sasa.
Yeah.
Juu hata pia hiyo propagation ya seedlings, as I gave the example. Vile tu unaweza piga janta, you raise hiyo 2M.
Yeah.
That is also a green job.
Yeah.
Yenye umecreate. Yeah.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Kwa sababu, but now you understand the concept of green jobs. It's not something that, I mean, waste management is a huge opportunity
yes.
Right now, like I've seen what the county government of Kiambu is doing is giving out bins, for waste segregation.
Yeah.
Which is something that, is still relatively new to some of us.
Yes.
Because tumezoea kutupa kila kitu in one. But, the reason they're doing the waste segregation is job creation.
Yeah.
There's recycling of the plastics. Right now there's recycling of electronic waste.
Exactly.
Sai kuna pia organic waste wanatafuta.
Matter.
So watu wasisema ati green jobs ni kazi safi, ni kazi chafu. Kwa hivyo mkijua ni kazi chafu lakini pesa ijaandikwa.
Yeah.
I mean, pesa itaandika hapa kwa nini imetolewa kwa waste.
Ukweli.
Sindio? I remember back in the day, we used to have a friend who used to work along Yaya, and alikuwa anatuambia, wacha nikuambia, there are these guys who come and collect waste along Hurlingham and Yaya.
Yeah.
Watu ni wachafu. From Monday through Monday. But those people live in mansions.
Yeah.
So you don't know, say, hey, is VP, why? They're like, these are people who've understood the concept of waste. If they collect waste, the organizations, this is now the time that most people are realizing what waste is. That waste is gold. But there are people who started this kitambo sana.
Yes.
And, plug in. You're never late. I mean, there are so many organizations that right now, like this Takataka ni Mali, wanatafuta hata pickers, waste pickers. So, I mean, kuna kazi nyingi sana. So, economic impact and Afro-Green. So far, how can you measure the impact that you've had as Afro-Green?
Okay. So, we normally look it at the socio-economic development and change within a household. Na pia, most importantly, pia the attitude. And,
Sana hiyo.
Yes. And kumesha attitude in statistics, unajua after umepeleka questionnaire unaweza pia jua mtu whether they strongly agree on something, they strongly disagree, etc. But we look at, for instance, kama sahi, if you go to the area of Kidimani, the issue ya segregate actually bins. Also, we're trying to have a young organization.
You're part of Kilicycle?
No, in Kidimani.
Oh,
that
Kidimani.
Is
nimesikia Kilimani. Sasa nikakule uko
Hapana,
uptown.
So
But
ndio
Kilimani
kwa
has
so-
Kilicycle
Yes,
every month.
it has Kilicycle.
Yeah.
So sasa, our youth, wakati walianza kutengeneza hizo briquettes, so we've just been able to look at, for instance, kama kuna jamaa moja, wakiwa pamoja kama group hivyo, wakiwa able to save. So, first of all, they never had jobs before. Ilikuwa ni kuomba, kuitisha and all, and which you can resort even now to drugs, you can resort to crime.
Yeah.
So, but now they are able to get these briquettes and selling
Yeah.
these briquettes. They're able
They're
to
recycling the briquettes from
the
waste.
organic waste. You know,
Okay.
in Kilimani, that's the market that iko hapo. Before you
Yeah.
go to Mato, all the way along Thika Road, Garissa.
Yeah.
Where the first big market hapo ushatoka Thika. Iko Kilimani.
Oh.
Yes, ya mboga na nini wanakimbianga kwa barabara wakiuza. So all those fruits and everything else. So
Akinaongea hivyo ni kama sipitangi hiyo njia.
so unaona sasa hivi wamekuwa able kuuza and we come and see kwa nyumba yako what did you have before, what did you not have that you have right now.
Yeah.
Ulikuwa unatumia nini kupika? So mtu labda akuwa na meko lakini sasa yuko na meko. So now they have a cleaner energy.
Yeah.
That is one thing. Hatumii kuni tena. They didn't have a bed. They didn't have maybe even have walikuwa wanatumia koroboi ya
Kuona.
ya
The lamp.
light. But now also by working with also some of our partners wanapata a solar lamp yenye pia anaweza charge simu.
Oh, wow.
Anaweza nunua simu inaweza mconnect.
Yeah.
You know? And pia kitu kama simu pia kitu yenye watu wana overlook. Mtu sasa akiwa na phone constant yenye si lazima auze na kuna ka business anafanya actually ana build pia credit yake ya kitu kama let me say fuliza yenye labda sasa anaweza access more than yenye alikuwa anaweza before. So that is the economic part. And definitely with the economic better health, they're able to access health, able to eat better. So you look at that socio-economic impact now within the homestead. Na huyo ripple effect yake inaenda pia kwa ndugu zake, the brothers and the sisters. We also look at the ecological impact. How did that place look before and after? Is there anything improving? If there was pollution, what have we done about it? Nini? Are crops doing better right now? Or even with the new climate smart agriculture approach you teach them, will the next harvest be better than the previous? So we look at that. And now sasa the attitude. So before zile simple questions ungemuuliza, unapata alikuwa maybe akikula hata biscuit, they throw a paper down. Do they still do that? So even that small minute thing, it has now the snowball effect. Because yeye mwenzake hata allow sasa mwenzake atupe karatasi chini. Ati na aseme county itakuja kuokota.
But naonanga watu wa county huruma kwa sababu zile takataka every day. Like when you're walking down ama you're driving down, you find the kanjo wanafagia
every day.
Na unapata kuna makaratasi. Hadi unajiuliza kwani hizi karatasi zinatokanga wapi overnight?
Na kuna dustbin.
Na kuna dust. By the way, hiyo ni kitu by the way nimekuwa nikisema nita challenge county yetu. You see the way we have strategic places for dustbins. I think they need to increase that.
Definitely.
Yeah, because I think aziko enough. Na ziko mbali. Aziko enough tuanzie hapo.
Yeah. Lakini pia tunarudi kwa chenye ulisema mindset. We need also to inculcate a mindset change within we as a people. Na wanasema patriotism ni kitu ya maana sana. Unaona ukienda Malika Rwanda, by the way utatembea 30 minutes hautaona dustbin yote anywhere na kuna karatasi kwa mahali.
Uko serious?
Yeah.
Aki tuendeni Rwanda. Hii Rwanda imesifiwa. Mbona sijienda Rwanda?
Just as an
Kwa
example.
wenzangu hapa lakini Tanzania, Uganda, lakini Rwanda sijakanyaga. I think because I've you know, from what I've heard people talk about in terms of cleanliness. And that is something that, I mean, unasema hauoni dustbin, but hizo dustbins ziko wapi? Where are they throwing?
Because sasa unaona imeinculcatiwa kwa mindset. Because they used to have once a month there's a national day to clean the streets. So it's become engraved in your mind kabisa. So you find that hata kama umemaliza kula, you just carry the paper until where you'll find one.
Wow.
Mi hata ninunue njugu, by the way mfuko yangu napata imejaa makaratasi. So unafaa unaiweka hapo kwa glove pocket. Ukifika home tupa. Ukitembea weka kwa bag yako, kwa satchel, weka kwa mfuko karatasi za njugu, ukifika home tupa.
Nakumbuka, remember the other time, I think this was part of the Mishuki rules, there were dustbins in our matatus,
Yes.
I don't know where they went.
Zikarudi tena, zikaibiwa.
I think we need to, like, when you're talking about policy and, you know, some of the actions that need to be done, turudishweni to dustbin tu kwa matatu, because what we see tunaoneanga like matatu owners wana complain wakiosha gari usiku wako zile the amount of uchafu and papers they collect na uoni mtu akitupa lakini utazipata.
But unajua Kenya saa zingine si ni vichwa ngumu, tunatakanga vitisho. Juu ukisikianga mtu ameambiwa hiyo miwa ukitupa chini wewe ndio utaosha hii gari.
I know. Na kuosha gari ni 200.
Hata tupa, ataenda kutupa mbele. Mbona angefanya hivyo before?
Aki umesema hivyo ngakumbuka kuna mtu alikuwa amebeba kuku kwa mati.
Bas.
Kuku hakuwa amefunga kuku nyuma.
So, utaosha.
Alipeana pesa ya car wash
200.
Aliambiwa sasa hii ni makosa yako. Unajua vizuri ungekatu kuku kwa carton. Hata ikifanya business yake at least itakuwa tu kwa hiyo space. Lakini sasa hii ni gari pako na raia unataka tu akanyage. So I think common sense si common but tunafaa tutishiwe hivyo like wasi wa mathiri wanafaa pia wakwe na nani. So I'm rushing through because of our time. Training. I know that is something that is very major that as Afro-Green you're doing. So how can we plug into the trainings that Afro-Green does?
Okay, so we normally space this as per also needs after to reach out to more youth and youth groups, and then after analyzing also the needs based on the location of course, because unaona let's say kama ni watu tunaangalia propagation, we look at the agroecological zone wali tutakuwa tunaenda. Kama ni area ya circular economy, well in the case of informal settlements dealing also with the waste management. So hapa when now you reach out to us, we always now collaborate also now with other different partners to provide this service to you. And one key strong partner also that we have and is the Danish Embassy, who also heavily support KCAC as I mentioned. And there's an instance to give you an example where we went to Madare. There's a lady called Mwikali. She's a human rights defender. She could be able to pull these different youth who work now in that sector. And we had this day speaking with them, telling them actually what you're doing is circular economy. It is bila kutumia the jargons but speaking in the language they understand. The embassy also have been able to pull also the different stakeholders who works also with pet bottles, Coca-Cola as well coming in to help. So now that is normally the approach as per the needs that you have
within that community.
Yes. And also another thing which I would like also the public to know, na watu wengi wajuangi. Wakati pia tunafanya mambo ya tree propagation na tumeweka pamoja, we actually even look for experts from KFS. You can even write to Kefri to come and teach you how to propagate tree seedlings. And the government has paid for that extension officer. You don't have to pay anything extra.
Umeongea vizuri sana. Umejua mali shida iko. Umejua umesema vizuri sana. So that is hiyo ni vizuri umesema. Amelipwa. So hiyo ni kazi yake.
Wewe andika tu barua. Ama una reach out, we follow up, we lobby, anakuja. And they are very willing. Actually wengi hata wanasema ni kwa nini youth groups haziandiki, environmental groups haziandiki. Wanajua saa mara mingi tunakuanga na belief that vitu za gavazi hizi kama ni reachable ama ziko na bureaucracy. But actually kwani who makes up government is people. Utapata mtu yeye home mtoi wake pia ni environmentalist anafanya the same thing. So ukienda mbona asikusupport? Wala angetaka mtoi wake pia support ofisi nyingine. Unaona?
Sawa basi. So ni vizuri muambia juu saa zingine unaambiwa na sina fare. Na amelipwa.
Hata gari imefueliwa.
Sasa acha kuchoma. So let's just talk about okay, we are supposed to go on a short break, but because our time is really not on our side and you need to rush somewhere, let's talk about your future plans as Afro-Green and you know what you know, like what are your future plans and your innovation strategy as Afro-Green?
Okay, so in the case of Kenya, my motherland, which its future and cause I have very strong at heart, especially in the aspect of policy. We will continue advocating for more inclusion, and there's one area which we have an opportunity to get it right right now, or get it wrong altogether. And that is the aspect, for instance, I'm just giving an example of one, is when it comes to carbon credit markets.
Yeah.
Because this normally comes with land concessions, and you understand very well how and why right now it is being called the new form of neocolonization. Because if you come to communities, foreign government wants tens of thousands of hectares.
Yeah.
Out of this, you'll find now those residents or the indigenous persons who live inside there, gava itahave kuwachaka.
Yeah.
Naona?
Yeah.
Na hata saa zingine wapata tena si project pia za gava, ni pia conservancies wanakuja wana fence out hiyo area yote, na maybe hapo ndo kuna ka watershed kenye kalikuwa. So what we'll continue doing is advocate number 1, zikuwe inclusive na zikuwe just.
Yeah.
Na kwa community kueducate watu kabisa ni nini iko hapa. Niliona wasee wakishangilia the other day, sita mention county gani, but unaona ati walikuwa wamepata about 3 point something B ya carbon credits, but nikasema angalia ni groups ngapi zimechukuliwa from your community na how many members wako kwa each group. So out of your do yenye ilitoka from the sale, of course ingine sinaenda ku reinvest kwa hiyo project ya carbon credit, because inalipa the extra wardens, fencing, gari zao kufuel na kila kitu. But ase wengi walikuwa naisha home na 3K, na si atu wamerushwa do, but pia wangepata msange wa negotiatea, ama kungekuwa a proper redress method where now they can renegotiate what is really owed to them, because now that time this new the act had not been amended, where sai na negate ukikuja ina necessitate lazima 25 or 20% kwa ni community ya pesa ikienda. So naona wangepata do mob. So mse ulifence of your area conservancy such that hata akiingia anaweza shutiwa. So na hapo labda ndo alikuwa na katakuni. Umempatia 3K as a dividend ya mwaka mzima.
3K hata imalizi siku.
Niko na ingine pia wanasema still the same group wanafunzwa kutengeneza eco products and green products. Tujiambie tu kweli, Kenya ni watu wangapi sasa wananunuanga vitu sustainable? Utaenda hivi uangalie shampoo kwa ama shower gel kwa super. Unaona hii hapa ni inatoka 210. Alafu hii nyingine inatoka 780 juu ni eco friendly. Utanunua gani? Unaona?
Yeah, 210.
Hata the same way na sabuni ama everything zenye wanatengeneza how many so hata still wakitengeneza they can only earn so much. So unapata wanarudi tena again kufanya zile vitu walikuwa nakatazwa, poaching, illegal logging. So hapo pia kama Afro Green we want to focus to have the communities be more aware. So hapo sasa ni si tunakimbizana na time kujua, which ni ngumu sana pia kujua, because at the end of the day unaonanga project imetokea, but sasa kujua ni nini inakam. So that is the case for Kenya, but as a country, but now Afro Green being also international, we'll still continue working with our partners internationally, cementing and strengthening the bilateral and multilateral relations we have. Some of the projects zenye tunataka pia ku kickstart pia right now in some countries kama Panama na Colombia, and even looking at the likes ya Costa Rica, ni nini tunaweza learn from what tutakuwa tumefanya hapo, you bring it back, na ni nini tunaweza toa hapa pia tupeleke huko. No, pia kuna vitu mingi tunafanya hapa pia au zenye wanaweza learn.
Wow. That is amazing. That is amazing. So how can people reach out to you guys? Because what you guys are doing is, wanaweza sema sisi ni a group, hatuna uwezo, hata tujui ni nini, hatuna idea. Mna start training from ideation, ama at least mkwe mna kitu inafanyika?
At least preferably kitu ikuwe inafanyika. Kitu ikuwe inafanyika. But as I told you, kuna hizo unique cases zenye tunaanzia from scratch. But nilisema challenges zenye ziko, but pia kuna successes ya hizo. Cause also pia si ati resources pia ziko mingi, ziko limited pia kwetu na kuprioritize. Actually si hata mambo ya kuprioritize, it's just that you know when you're passionate about something, ni kama unaangalianga utaona nani uache nani, mtoto mgani uache
I
mwingine.
know,
No,
na wote wana grow.
yes. But you can always reach out to us kwa social media. Kwa IG ni afro_green movement. Kwa X ni @afrogreen_. FB, LinkedIn, Afro-Green Movement. Kama si hivyo, I'm always available as well. Bora usini reverse call. Usiku wa manane.
Tokanigia, please call me.
Ni reverse call mchana. Anyway, but my handles, I go by my full names in Facebook and LinkedIn. In LinkedIn, Richard Kakunga Wambua. Facebook, Ambassador Richard Kakunga Wambua. X @Kakunga Wambua. Na pia IG balozi.green.
Okay.
Yes. Na pia I think I can also give my number.
If you're comfortable, unajua number ni sensitive, but wewe kama unataka kupeana peana.
Anyway, so you can always reach out to 0716-734-802.
Okay.
0716-734-802.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is amazing, because right now we need to collaborate.
Exactly.
Because we need to know what is happening kwa ground. Alafu, like the other day, the community in which county was that? They were being brought for a nuclear plant.
Yes, down at the coast. Yes.
Yeah, and it's been so chaotic. Hata sijui tumefika wapi so far.
Yeah, that's another one.
So I think if we continue engaging in these conversations, then we become more alert of what is happening within us and around us, and we're able to take action way before some of these things happen.
Yes.
And we also become aware of why the projects are coming into the country, and being part of that public participation is something that we really need to be part of. So I think that is what you have really brought out very loudly in this conversation. So thank you so much.
And maybe just Wanjira,
Yeah.
allow me to add something very briefly.
Yeah.
In terms of scoping projects which are supposed to come, every like a project kama hiyo, before it happens, inakwanga also pia imewekwa kwa website. So if you think about the mega projects, it may be road, electricity, sources of energy. You're always sure if you go to the website ya KenGen, if they're having something, first of all, look at the call of expression.
Yeah.
Kama kuna kitu imewekwa ya tender about a big project, then it might be coming. Na pia imewekwa hapo. Also wakati ya, because for that to happen, there's normally also a resettlement action plan, which normally happens, which also is supposed to cover the aspect ya watu redress if they're not okay na nini vitu kama hizo. So it's very key to always take part in such, so that hata unapata even if you tried your best and you couldn't, because after all the nation has to grow, maybe this project has to go there, at least you got what you deserved in terms of compensation.
Yeah.
And that is normally guided by law. Yes.
But the problem is we only found out after kumekuwa na call of action, tenda imepewanwa, project imeanza. Sasa hiyo ndo tunaenda sisi wana mazingira, tuko tu huko ndio na placards
Unajua, okay, to my fellow environmentalists,
Yeah.
maybe I can give you one of a cheat sheet that I normally use.
Yeah.
So after every major conference that happens, I normally look at what was the commitment that Kenya was given. If this ex-government told Kenya will work on X on a smart city,
Yeah.
so I need to know where will this smart city be.
Yeah.
So you go now again to the Ministry of Planning, Urban Planning and Housing and Urban Planning. Look at the strategic plan. Where do they envision to build a certain similar city? The strategic plan inakuanga imechora 5 years. Hiyo kitu inakuanga mahali tu. Ni financing by the way gavo wangeina ngoja. Ndio ikipata wanakimbia nayo. Yeah. So after every major conference, what is the major announcement that was done? Whether the conference was within or without Kenya, outside? Yeah. Angalia commitment ni nini na ni wapi most probable. Already kuna kitu wangefanya kwa ground, even some survey. There's something, a report somewhere, and there's always even something in a strategic plan of a ministry, a department, or a semi-autonomous government agency somewhere. Yeah.
So our wenye tunakujanga after projects zimesha sprout.
Lakini lazima pia tuchoche
Tuchoche
kidogo na tutete, Because hivyo ndo watatusikia.
Eh.
You know, that's why we complement policy advocacy.
Yeah.
Need to be complemented also with activism.
Oh wow, that is great because, I mean, without activism, there's nothing. I mean, watakwanga tu wanasema the people have said, the people have agreed.
But ikuwe purposive activism pia. Yenye ukiulizwa so basi nifanye nini ama tufanye nini, that already uko na clear way forward.
Oh wow.
Usiseme tu leo watu wanyoe nywele na ujui ni kwa nini, ama tuache kuambiwa tunyoe nywele. Why?
Unasema tulikuta rules zikisema.
Yeah.
You have to understand your why as an
Exactly.
environmentalist so that you can be able to, you can be fair.
Yes, and also how
Yeah.
that is supposed to be done.
All right. Asante sana. We are super grateful. We've had such a wonderful conversation. I know we have to cut it short, and that's the reason we didn't go on any break because, you know, we have to go on certain breaks, but we really need to go through all that. And is there something that you feel like is your last parting shot?
For me, what I always say from what I take from my role model, and kwanza I forgot to say this, and I never forget to say this. My first role model in environmental matters was my mom. And now the second role model, Wanjira Maganjo, she said that if all the little people in the world, you did all the little things that you could, collectively all these little things will actually make a very big difference.
Yeah.
So my parting shot will be, in whichever space you are, whichever field you are, whatever you're doing, never feel so small, never feel that you are not doing enough. Even that kidogo has an impact that maybe you will never live to see.
Yeah.
Or you will not realize someone else felt it.
Yeah.
But just by the image of the Kenya you envision, or the community you envision, not your kid, but your grandkids, to find the one you'll be proud of when they know grandma alifanya kazi mzuri sana, you know, years ago. You just keep on doing that towards working and be motivated by that. Yes. And at the end of the day, collectively tutafika hapo.
Wow.
Yes.
You know, I love the impact stories that you're giving and the conversations, especially where, you know, when you're doing something right for the community, it feels right. You know, like you have a purpose on earth. Like by the time you're done, like you die empty. You know, you've done everything that you could have done for yourself and for your community. So what Afro-Green is doing is being a champion. And that is something that we're really super proud to be associated with.
Thank you so much.
Invite us for all other activities, because like I said, Sustainability Connect, we want to highlight activities. We want to engage in these activities, and just our role here as a media house for this particular show is to join in happen. Ndio watu wako wanajua if there's an event happening, like I know the 5th of June is gonna be big for all of us.
Yes.
The environmentalists is gonna be big.
Yes.
We want to know what is happening. What are people doing? You're not just planting trees.
Yes.
You know, environmental activities is not just trees.
Yeah.
And I think we need to demystify that fact. There's a lot that goes in, and we hope that we can get to know more of what Afro-Green does in future. Let us, so that we can also keep you accountable. Mulisema kwa strategic plan yenyu mtapanda 30 million trees by 2025. Ziko wapi hizo miti? 30, you know, like
Please do so. Yes,
we want to have that accountability bit where, you know, you're just not just coming here and blowing air. You know, we want to see that you said plan yetu ni by 2025, by 2010.
Yes.
2025, 2030 tuko na vision.
Yeah.
Tumefika up in a vision. So thank you so much for that conversation. And in your other roles,
Yes.
we will engage in other aspects.
Definitely. I'm always a phone call away.
Thank you so much. So right about now, we're going to take a short break. And when I come back, because Richard is going to be leaving, I'm going to be doing a recap of what we've been discussing. So thank you so much for being part of this conversation. See you after the short break.
Don't worry about a thing. this morning. Smile with the rising sun. Three little birds pitch by my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true, saying, this is my message to you. Singing, don't worry about a thing.
to belong here, but something felt so wrong here. So I pray I could break away. I'll spread my wings and I'll learn how to fly. I'll do what it takes till I touch the sky. And I'll make a wish, take a chance, make a change, and break away. Out of the darkness and into the sun, but I won't forget all the ones that I love. I'll take a risk, take a chance, make a change, and break away. Wanna feel the warm breeze, sleep under a palm tree, feel the rush of the ocean. Get on board a fast train, travel on a jet plane, far away, and break away. I'll spread my wings and I'll learn how to fly. I'll do what it takes till I touch the sky. And I'll make a wish, take a chance, make a change, and break away. Out of the darkness and into the sun, I won't forget all the ones that I love. I gotta take a risk, take a chance, make a change, and break away. Buildings with 100 floors, swinging on revolving doors. Maybe I don't know where they'll take me, but gotta keep moving on, fly away, break away. I'll spread my wings and I'll learn how to fly. Oh, it's not easy to tell you goodbye. Gotta take a risk, take a chance, make a change, and break away. Out of the darkness and into the sun, but I won't forget the place I come from. I gotta take a risk, take a chance, make a change, and break away. Break
From Richard of Afro Green, and we're super grateful that he made time to come to discuss what Afro Green does. And we are happy that call to action has been so profound, and we are looking at what actionable steps can the youth take in creating green jobs, in creating a better community for themselves. So our listeners, we want to be part of the conversation. We want you to be part of these conversations. We want you to be part of, the ability to create change within the society. And one of my key takeaway from our conversation with Richard was lazima youth tujitume. You need to go out there. You need to look at what is available? What is the county government issuing? What support is the county government giving? What is the support that local NGOs are giving to young people? So lazima mjitume ndio mpate hii pesa. So green jobs, and like he said, green jobs are not clean jobs. They are jobs that send you all the way to the dirt. So you need to be ready psychologically. You have to change your mindset from the fact that it's not a white collar job. Na si kazi ati utakuwa tu na uchafu throughout. So you need to learn that and understand that this is a concept that, lazima uchafuke ndio upate yodo. And the beauty about it is you're not just doing it for money. You're also doing it for cleaning the environment, ensuring that the community around you is clean and safe as well. So it's not just creating green jobs is not just all about money. Your environment matters, and that is what we are focusing on. So what is your role in creating a sustainable future for the future generation? And that is a conversation that we've been having today, and thank you so much for being part of that conversation. Thank you for joining us live on www.iconradio.co.ke. Thank you for watching us on YouTube, and also being part of the conversations on our Instagram. And we are happy. We are glad that you're part of the conversation. So thank you so much. Up until next week, Wednesday. See you.
What we gonna do right here? Let's take you way back into time. My man Genuine. For all y'all people out there, vibing to this beat. It's done by me.